And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey yo, I'm Tom Vasel, everybody. Welcome to the Dice Tower. Today we're taking a look at a game called Red Outpost. So Red Outpost is a worker placement movement game that has an unusual theme. In here, the space race is over. A secret Soviet mission sent things out. A communist ship has gone out to the stars. They crash land on the planet. And now all the people in there who are from, I think, the 50s or 60s, communist Russia, have landed, started a commune of sorts, and you are trying to score the most points. What are you in this game? Oh, yeah, you're just trying to appeal to everybody. There's no private property here. You're just guiding everybody. Communism is actually a mechanism in this game. It's a very unique style game. Here's how it plays. The game is going to take place over 2 rounds, 2 days, and each day has different sections. And so what players are going to do is in the first section, in the morning, each player is going to take turns in turn order, and turn order is going to change for each section of the day. So even if you don't get to go first in one section, you'll get to go first in another. And in the first section, each player is going to take a worker and place them by putting them down so you know they moved in a different spot on the board. So let's say you're playing a 4-player game, you would move 4 different people. Now, there are some spots in every game you can change them. There might be some spots that you can't go to in the morning phase. Like, for example, can't go to the tavern in the morning phase. Then we go to the day phase. We stand everybody back up. And now, in turn order, everybody moves each person. So the gray would move, then the white, then the yellow. You know, it doesn't matter what order they move in. But so someone might get to move more than one person. Then at lunchtime, after we stand them all up, each player picks one person to go to the lunch spot. Then we have the second half of the day, where all 6 get moved again. Then night, where each player can move one, but you can't go to the spots that will be closed at night. That's these 3 spots, but that can change from game to game. Now, there's some more rules than that, so let's talk about those. Whenever you place a worker, whenever you move a worker to a spot, you're going to put a disc on that worker. So if I move the black worker here, sorry, not the black worker, that's the gray worker. If I move the gray worker wherever, I'm going to put a disc on to show that I'm influencing that worker. When you put workers in different spots, it can either increase or decrease their happiness, which you will mark moving this star there. At the end of a day, you're going to get points or lose points, whoever has the most discs on somebody. That's the person who's going to get the points for that person. And different spots are going to do different things. So for example, if we look at the fields here, if you send anyone other than the farmer there, they're going to take an unhappiness. You can send someone there, that's up to you. And then whoever goes there is going to produce wheat. While over here, in the meadow, if you send anyone but the shepherd, they're going to get an unhappiness. While below that, you see in the tavern, you're going to get 2 happiness, except for the one person. That person's they're the boss, the supervisor. They will get 1 unhappiness when they go there. And so there's different spots. Now, when you produce resources are going to be produced and put into this middle area here where you're producing them. You're producing them for the good of everybody. Also, whenever you produce resources, you will move 1 space around on this track here. And every time you circle around the top, you get 2 points and a crystal. And crystals can be used at some of the spots and are ways to get you more points. But producing for the common good will help you out. And when you produce and sell goods, you can drop them here at the bottom where you will score points. The more that are sold of a certain type, the more points you will personally get as the game goes by. The rest of the game is just kind of knowing what all the different spaces do. You can only go here at lunchtime, but it gives that person some happiness. You can only go here at night, and it gives that person happiness. And in the morning, the workers who are not sent out by players who get to stay here in the morning also get a happiness. Here, you work in the camp here with the guards and everything. You produce a lot of resources, but it does tend to make you a little unhappy. When you fish, you're going to draw a card, which could be 1 or 2 fish, but there's also the chance of finding nothing, although the fisherman gets to draw multiple cards. You can go plunder your rocket ship you land on the planet for, which again could find you nothing, but could get you different resources of different types. We already mentioned a tavern. Here you're going to be producing coal, though it tends to make you unhappy unless you're the miner. Over here, you're kind of forcing people's morale to go up, or you can add discs to other people or move them off different things. Here's where you sell goods or trade goods for crystals or crystals for goods. So that's kind of, there's a lot of different things that you can do. And so you're going to go to these different spots. Like I said, these can be changed from game to game. I could say these are the spots that are closed in the morning. Once morning's over, you flip them, and then these will close at night, depending on where they might be. Also, each player can draw a card at the beginning of the game that will give them a special ability for one of the workers, and you'll draw one of these cards, which will give you a special ability if you use that particular building. Like this one, if you go to the grain field, you don't have to take the grain, you can take any goods you want. So each player will essentially have 2 special abilities. After 2 rounds, the game will be over. After the end of each round, like I said, players are going to score points based on the happiness. That will be reset, and you'll get ready to do another round. At the end of round 2, you'll do it again, but you'll also score points as players that they can go up here and use crystals to donate to the Palace of the Soviets, and whoever has the most here will get 4 victory points at the end of the game, 2 and 1 for second and third place. So you add these points together. You also get a victory point for every 2 crystals that you have at the end of the game, and whoever has the most victory points is the winner. This is a beautiful board. I really like it. It's hard to tell, but there's some nice glossy sheen on it. It's really easy to see. I love how all the characters are different colors, but they're also different shapes, making it easy to tell where they are. You'll notice that these are like acrylic, clear acrylic, the little stars here to keep track of the players' moods. The board itself is just gorgeous. It will take you a while to remember what all the symbology means. There's a lot of it, and there's also symbology on the cards themselves. You'll be like, what does that mean? But you can figure it out as time goes by. There's a little rocket ship for first player that passes around. It's not that complex of a game, and you'll notice the point scoring track isn't very long because not a ton of points get handed out over the course of a game. There's also a whole set of components that are included for solo play. So if you want to play by yourself, there's a lot of stuff included for that too. Some games are exciting to me because of the unique themes that they have. This has a pretty cool theme. But other games excite me because they feel different. Red Outpost is one of those. Now, I would hesitate to call Red Outpost a great game. And in fact, I'll go be straight up. One of the things about Red Outpost is I think that you're not going to find an incredible depth to the game. Since the fisherman works so well at the fishing spot, you move the fisherman to the fishing spot usually. You may occasionally move him somewhere else, but probably that's where he's going to go. And you're going to, try to get resources and sell those resources or produce resources to move that token around the top and or help build the palace at the top. There's not a lot of different legs, but the game feels interesting, and they did a good job bringing that theme in the morning. So let's say you're playing a 3-player game. There's 6 workers. You send out 3 of these people early in the morning. Those people are like, the other 3 people are like, that's right, baby. And their happiness goes up. But you didn't put a disc on to control them. So there's a little bit of area control here. So then and the next time you're like, well, this person's going out to the field. And this person is going to go to the tavern. And they already spent the morning slacking off. Now they go to tavern. That person's pretty happy. And then I'm going to sit there and go, I need to take control of that person. Or you have control of that person, and then at the very end, I'm like, you know what? They're going to the camp here. They're going to work hard. I'll get the resources for them, but you are going to take a lesser pleased person. So that theme is real fun. There's, I don't know if I love the randomness in the fisherman and rocket cards, but this is not a heavy game. It feels heavy, and it's going to feel wonky because as everyone moves a worker, now we move all the workers. And some people get maybe extra workers, but that balances out over the course of the game. And then we're all going to move a worker to lunch. Then we're going to move all the workers. And then we're going to each pick a person to go to bed early. It's such a wonky thing, and it's not very long. And you definitely need to play with the special abilities, the worker and the building place. I keep thinking about this game. I was kind of, when I first played, I was like, I don't know, pretty interesting. But the more I meditated upon it, the more I thought, the more I was fascinated by both the theme, which is kind of interesting, but the mechanisms. There's a lot of worker placement games out there, but this one has a unique feel to it. And this idea of no one owns everything and it's all a communal thing, but at the same time, you want to make some people happier than others. That's clever. So I wonder if Red Outpost is I don't think this will be a game we're going to talk much about in the future. But right now, it stands out as something different in the game design world, and I can appreciate it for that. So it's certainly one to check out. I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. Dice Tower Judgment approved.